got John from the Kops on air. What is up, my friend?
I am here to represent the most dangerous band in law enforcement, the Kops. Hey, everybody.
Dude, I love it, dude. I love it. And I'm so happy I got it. We got to get you on the show. We got you on the show so quickly, man. Like we met, what was our show, like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. That was a blast, though. It was a blast, and yeah, it was good to meet you, man. I'm glad we were able to set this up so quickly.
Yeah, dude, that was a Thursday show, and that was a sick crowd for a Thursday show, I might say.
It was. I was we're kind of new to playing actual live gigs, so it was kind of, it was new to me, and it was a lot of love from the crowd. Yeah, it was great.
Dude, you know what? My first reaction from seeing your band was that, like, it just looks like you guys are trying to have having a blast up there, dude. Like you guys are having a whole lot of fun, dude. You know what?
That's the whole point of the band. It's really it's about having fun. It's about, it's dark comedy, but it's about having fun, right? And highlighting those things, using those dark things and making light of them. Yeah.
No, absolutely, dude. I like it, dude. So, dude, so for all the fans out there that don't know your background and don't know the background of your project, the Kops, tell us a little bit about your influences and what motivated you and drove you to start this project and head in this direction with your style, sound, and concept for the Kops.
Yeah, sure. So I've been into music my whole life. My grandfather was a composer, and I have a background of music my whole lifetime, right? So I've been playing guitar and writing songs and really inspired by rock and roll, punk rock, metal, especially for the Kops. For the last 10 years, I've kind of focused my songwriting into more of a kind of Bikini Kill drum beats meets rudimentary Peni meets Dayglow Abortions, right? So those three punk bands, if you listen to those bands, there's a whole lot of influences with the drumming, and then especially with Dayglow Abortions, kind of expanding a little beyond punk rock, but still keeping it, rock and roll and hard and fun and swingy, and with lots of hooks and stuff that keeps you interested in the song. We love hooks. Everything should be a one-liner in the Kops, right? So that's kind of like our idea is keep it simple. It's meant to be like something you can chant along to, but also interesting enough to keep listening to. And we're always going to throw something in to keep you on your toes. Of course, at the end of every song, we have a clown horn and a loudspeaker, kind of like a cop megaphone kind of thing you'd see at a riot, just so everybody understands that's the end of the song. And then we're going to start a new song.
Dude, I absolutely love it, dude. No, I love it. I thought it was super original, dude. You're talking about all these influences and where you're pulling from your drive. Is there like a specific moment in your childhood where it really hits you that like you loved music and this was something you wanted to do? I'll give you an example. Like for me, it was Ozfest 2004. When I went to my first Ozfest when I was 14, I didn't know a whole lot about metal like that. I listened to like hip hop and rap and like what's popular and seeing Slayers, Judas Priest, and Black Sabbath all in one night. It blew my mind. Was there ever a time in your childhood where you went to a show, met somebody, or got inspired that where you were just like, I'm gonna go this direction?
Yeah, well, I guess yes and no. There were many times in my life when I had that feeling, right? And I've been inspired by so many different types of music that so many are just coming to mind. As far as the focus, though, because I write all sorts of different types of music. I love everything from surf rock to like weirdo punk, post-punk. I mean, there's a lot of like weird subgenres that I'm into and I continue to get into. That keep me interested in music. Different tunings in the guitar keeps me interested in playing guitar. Finding the right drummer is probably the biggest thing in my life that has been okay, I want to do this, right? As a guitarist and a singer, if I find a drummer that instantly we click, that's kind of the moment where I'm like, okay, I want to do this every day. going to shows, there's been multiple times where it's just changed my life. I couldn't even, I'm like, probably we're very similar in that we're just obsessed with music. It just it makes life good.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about the rest of your bandmates, your bass player and your drummer, and tell me what they're about and what they bring to the table with the Kops.
Yeah, so I started about 10 years ago and always been trying to find a drummer that kind of fit the style, and finally met someone when I was East Coast, and he called him the Machine. He's our producer. He produces drums and the guitar and everything. Like, I'll play it and he will produce it. We'll do this on either side of the country now. And he is the first person I met that could make the Kops music sound like it should and like it does live. It's very hard to get that kind of, it should sound like a motor engine or a chainsaw type. There's a lot of fuzz and distortion with the guitar and the bass. And depending on who I'm playing with, I might pump that up on either side a little more or a little less.
Yeah.
The current setup that we have, the Machine knows how to do that production wise. So I'm happy to be able to record my music like kind of on a CD, like I've always wanted to. It's really fun now because I live in Southern Oregon. I've met two wonderful people that I play music with now. So our drummer is just killing it. And we've been playing for probably 6 months now or so. Our bassist just joined up. A month or two before we actually played that live show. So this is like a kind of really cool newer version of live Kops band. And then we have a producer that's also in the band, the Machine, East Coast.
That's so rad, dude. And that's cool. You have a producer that really understands the sound and the way you want to portray it, because it's so important, man. I feel like with recording, you can make it or break it so bad because like you said, you have to capture that live sound. I feel like that keeps like the old school rawness of music. Like I know a lot of bands getting away with like pre-recorded drums and like all these like edits they do. You know what I mean? And like doing it live and raw, dude. Like I love it, and that's cool, dude. Recording the CD is badass, dude. I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, man. That was probably the biggest life-changing moment as far as me wanting to do this full time and saying, okay, I'm ready. When I had somebody that could produce the music like it should be produced, I was able that could also kind of speak music with me, right?
Yeah.
Once that happened, I'm ready to go. So now it's like, okay, a drummer, a bassist, we're pushing forward.
Dude, I love it, dude. And it's cool, dude. I was in a band with your bassist like 3 years ago.
So yeah, that's what I heard. I just learned that, right? I was like, oh, everybody knows each other. Awesome.
It's a small world here in
and on that note, could I also, like, the Machine, he has his own band. It's a power metal band. And when I told him about your show, he was like, oh, maybe this guy would be interested in my stuff. His band is amazing, and they're called Quantum Twilight. And so I just got to say, if you want to check out a cool power metal band, the Machine does Quantum Twilight. And that's a pretty damn good power metal band. He calls it entry power metal, but he's killing it. And he's really good at producing his own stuff. And then he also has other people mastering it. And it's really, really coming together. So that's something I would definitely want to introduce to you guys, because he's worked really hard on that. And he's the only person that's ever been able to do what I've needed to do to get the Kops to sound like it kind of on the radio or online. That's a big deal to me. So.
Dude, I think that's awesome, man. And yeah, dude, it's important to find people you definitely mesh with, and that's cool. The Machine sounds like a cool guy, man. And if you have a nickname like that, you gotta sound cool.
Exactly.
So, dude, I think when you do live shows, it's like we're entertaining. We're providing a show for people. Is there some people in the music industry that you just like love their showmanship, that maybe inspired the way you guys create your antics on stage? Because like you guys have a lot of energy on stage, and show a lot of personality. Is there somebody in particular that like you feel like you maybe might have drove some of that influence from?
Thanks so much. We're flattered. That's a wonderful compliment. Yeah, Guar. Not my 9 Inch Nails. I love Trent Reznor. He brings a lot of energy every time I go to see him. Queens of the Stone Age. Those are some of like my favorites that like bring a lot of energy and fun and throw a party. Eagles of Death Metal, that type of stuff. That's kind of what my idea is. You know, when we're playing a show, we're throwing a party. And even when we're rocking out and just practicing, we're there to have fun. We all love to do it. We're doing it because we love it. So definitely Guar, that's a band that we look at, try to play with. Puppy and the Handjobs is another theme band. They're a nuclear family. That's a really good band that we would love to play with. They're at, I think, Nevada or something like that, or Arizona. The Heresies. I don't know if you heard of weirdo punk, kind of like the Spits, but the Heresies, they're amazing. We would love to play with them. Dr. X, whoever he is, he's done this EP called the Heresies, and they are killing it. Laundrette, a 4-piece from Portland. It's like the B-52s met the Bajas in a dark alley, and they just started making music. I mean, it's dark, it's punk, it's goth, it's so cool. They have an EP out. I've been following them. They're great. So there's a few bands even locally that I've been following, trying to like find some weird bands to play some weird shows and throw some weird parties to, you know?
Hey, dude, I love mixing it up, dude. You know, I think it's cool, like, when you get, like, I don't know. I think there should be more genre mixing, in my opinion, you know? Like, I feel like you have your scenes, and a lot of scenes, like, stick to, like, you know, like they play their own shows, they headline their own shows, put on their own bands. But, like, dude, lately, dude, I've been loving just booking bands I've never heard of. Like playing that show that we played, dude, like, none of those bands sound like each other. Like,
yeah, that was really cool. That was a nice mixture, right?
Yeah, it was like a buffet, dude. You know,
Totally. Yeah.
You know, like this, you might like a little of that, and you know, I think that should be like the new underground, dude. Like, why not have like Wham like play with Metallica?
Exactly. I love it. No, I saw.
Like,
when I was a kid. Okay, here's one of the shows that one popped up in my head. This is one that did kind of change me when I was really young. I got to see the Beastie Boys, but Rancid opened for them.
Wow, that's awesome.
Right? And so that was back when, like, before it was like, oh, the Beastie Boys did used to be punk, but like a lot of people weren't into that whole, they didn't really get it. But it was like two punk bands. I forgot the other punk band that opened for Rancid, but it was like two punk bands, then the Beastie Boys. That was one of the coolest shows that I've ever been to.
Dude, that's so rad, dude. That sounds like, oh man, like, I'm jealous you got to see the Beastie Boys, dude. That's so
and of course the Beasties played all their punk rock, their old school punk rock, so it was the show to go to. Yeah.
Oh, and Rancid just reminds me of playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater,
all day. Greatest game ever.
Sweet, man. Well, hey, we're getting towards the end of the interview. Before we do a little bit more promotion for your band, The Kops.
The Kops.band. Yes, .band. The Kops.band is my website. Go ahead.
Really? How do you spell that out for everybody out there?
So the Kops with a K. Thank you. The Kops with a K. .band. Just like .com, but we actually got the Kops with a K. .band. That's our website.
Called The Kops with like the C?
There is a cover band that does. So there's a cover band in like Europe that does the Police. They cover the Police, and they're called the Kops, but I think they use a C. And then there's like a soccer stadium or something like that uses the Kops as the name for some reason. Like that's what they use for the name of the. I don't know. A few people that use, but yeah. We're the Kops with a K. .band.
That's awesome, dude. Do you guys have any upcoming shows?
Yes, we do. We have an upcoming show at Johnny B's that we're still organizing, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm really excited about this interview, talking about some of the other bands that we'd love to play with. And yeah, so Spring, I believe, late spring of next year, we'll be back at Johnny B's. We also there's a possibility we'll be playing with Elkwitch, hopefully in the near future. I'm talking with them. Been talking with them.
They're awesome. Yeah. We're trying to play a show with them too, man.
They're great. I really love like desert rock stuff. So I was happy to find a band like that in this area, and that was really cool. So we really like them a lot. And so there's stuff coming up, and it'll all be on the website, thekopswithak.band. Please visit and reach out to us on our website, on our email, and all that. You'll find it on the website, thekopswithak.band.
Sounds good, man. All right, man. We're gonna end the interview with a small series of questions. John from the Kops, are you ready?
Shoot.
All right, man. If you could choose your death, but it had to be by a villain in a horror movie, who would you choose to kill you, and how would they do it?
The Terminator. he would tear my heart out with his metal bare metal hand and squish it in front of my face.
All right. Who's better, the Ramones or Sex Pistols?
Ramones, by far.
You know what? Did you watch that interview that where Johnny Rotten and like the whole like table, like Henry Rollins of like all these punk legends, you know?
I've seen a couple of those like panels where all those guys are like arguing.
Oh, dude! Like when the Ramones came back, I love it, dude. Because like I forget their drummer's name. Is it John? It's not. Do you remember the drummer's name? One of the Ramones. I forget his. I can't hit it in the head right now, but like I remember he was like screaming at Johnny Rotten, going like, Johnny Rotten was like, we sing about politics, we sing about real things, and like the Ramone guys was like, we want kids to have fun. That's why we sing about.
That's what I'm talking about. We want people to have fun. Yeah, come on. Life's tough enough. Let's just have fun.
Yeah, I love that interview, dude. If you could play for any band in any era, dead or alive, for one set, who would you play with?
Ooh. Crime. All right, there's a band called Crime, and everybody needs to look them up because they're not well known enough. And they're 1979 Bay Area, a band called Crime, and we're the Kops. So there's that would probably. They were dangerous. They were a dangerous band. Like look into their shows. Like riots broke out outside sometimes, and we're the Kops, so we would be taking care of that, like dirty cops, but cops nonetheless.
All right, man. Tell us something you're terrible at and something you're good at that people wouldn't expect.
Something I'm terrible at and something I'm good at that people wouldn't expect. I'm terrible at absolutely nothing, and I'm really great at absolutely everything.
All right. All right, dude. All right. Great answer, dude. Great answer. And that is the end of the interview. John,
we appreciate it, man. Yeah, thank you,
man. I hope you have a good day, a good night. Everybody, please check them out. We'll be sharing some of your music later tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks. Please play us and Quantum Twilight too. Please. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And for the end of the interview, is there any shout outs you want to do really quick?
The Machine, Quantum Twilight. You're killing it. The Heresies, Dr. X, who are you? Where are you? Let's play a show. Thanks.
We're John, the Kops. You have a good night, man.
Thanks, brother.
Peace.
Have a good night.